Good afternoon, respected chair, distinguished panelists, officers, colleagues, friends, and yes, organizers, team Metalogic. I am represent Jindal Defence and Aerospace. It's a strategic vertical of Jindal Stainless Limited. Today, I'll be covering few points on strategic importance and urgent need of indigenization, challenges in indigenization and the support we required from government as an industry, and our contribution as a Jindal Defence and Aerospace in indigenization of critical raw materials, and few examples of innovation strategic materials for defense and aerospace. So when we think of defense, we think of fighter jets, submarines, tanks, missiles, and aerospace systems. But the unsung hero behind all these systems are strategic materials, critical alloys, special steel, forgings, which make them possible. Commodities, these are strategic enablers, and without them, no amount of design or engineering can translate into deployable capabilities. India today continue to depend on import of its most critical grades of steel, especially ESR and remelted steel, which require for our all aerospace, navy and army platforms and aerospace engines. The annual import value of such critical raw materials runs into over $1 billion. The imports mostly come from a handful of suppliers like in Europe, Russia and China, which leaving us vulnerable to sanction, trade restrictions and wars. History has shown us how fragile global supply chain can be. During the Russia-Ukraine conflict, sudden restrictions on nickel and titanium disrupted aerospace supply chain worldwide. India cannot afford these kind of risks for its defense platforms. Self-reliance in materials offers not just security of supplies, but also design to deployment advantage. When alloys are made in India, weapon platforms like Tejas, Mark II, fighter or future submarines can be developed and deployed much faster without waiting for inputs. The Indian government has already taken many initiatives and important steps, like 5 indigenization, positive indigenization list has already been mandated. The hundreds of items must be sourced domestically, including certain materials. The Surgeon portal, which has listed more than 30,000 items for indigenous sourcing. The DAP, Defense Acquisition Procedure, requires material availability checks at RFI stage, which yet to be implemented, has been implemented fully. And the DRDO industry collaboration are also accelerating R&D and alloy development for Indian defense and aerospace. So the initiatives are already pushing in the right direction, but the policy is just one part of the journey. Execution is the real test. Like here, I'll show some example or challenges where industry still struggles, like minimum order quantities. For defense steels are very small. Many MOQs are very small for defense steel, sometimes only a few tons, far below the scale which required to run facilities substantially. Lack of long-term procurement visibility makes it hard for us to justify major investment. Imagine committing 500 CR of investment in facility without knowing the order will flow after 2 years. Multiplicity of standards also hurt. Our platforms are sourced from Russia, France, US, each with different specification. Indigenous steel cannot qualify unless standards are harmonized. And perhaps the biggest, slow qualification cycle. It often takes 3 to 5 years to certify a new material. By then, the weapon program itself has moved ahead. What industry needs is predictability and speed. A 5-year demand visibility from DPSUs, services, and government manufacturing establishments. Long-term offtake commitments, not just piecemeal tenders. Fast-track testing and certification of Indian steel, which industry requires. And finally, true policy preference for indigenous material in procurement, not just in spirit, but in execution. These measures would give companies like us the confidence to invest aggressively and scale faster. Now I'll just present something like what Jindal Defence and Aerospace has contributed for indigenizing critical raw materials. In Jindal Defence and Aerospace, we are not just waiting, we are building. Let me now share what JDA are doing for this gap. We already supply critical mission critical steel to DRDO, ISRO, HAL and armed forces, meeting stagnant metallurgical requirement of the platforms. For missile programs, our steel have gone into Agni missile, nuclear submarine launched missile, Konkur missile, and BrahMos aerospace. For Navy, we supply special steel and super duplex stainless steel for rocket launchers and nuclear submarine. For armor applications, we provide steel for mine trolls and vehicle protection systems for Indian Armed Forces. And for space, our steels have powered PSLV, GSLV, LMV Mark III, SSLV, Gaganyaan, and Chandrayaan 3. Now, the benefits are tangible for this indigenization, like 20 to 30% cheaper than imports, faster delivery, and most importantly, full control of quality and supply chain within India. Now we are investing in next frontier. A state-of-art remelting and forging facility is being commissioned. This will make JDA, Jindal Defence Aerospace, Jindal Stainless Limited is one-stop shop for flat and forged product in special steel and super alloys. And our ambition goes beyond to produce advanced super alloys that are still 100% imported. This is how private industry can transform India from a buyer to a maker of strategic materials. This is Atmanirbharta in action, delivering faster, cheaper, and better. Let me close with a story of innovation that excites me personally. Like in partnership with DRDO, Jindal Defence Aerospace has developed a first of its kind armor steel, a material that offers blast resistance, ballistic resistance, high impact strength, and superior corrosion resistance in just one material. This is not a theory. The material has already been adopted for our armed forces. It replaces expensive imported armor plates with delivering superior performance at lower cost. Imported material, once used in mine troll, corroded quickly and had long lead times. Our indigenous material cuts delivery cycles, withstands corrosion, and even provides stealth advantage due to its non-magnetic properties. This is a living proof of what can happen when India labs and Indian industry co-create together. This is not just a replacement; it is an improvement over imports. What used to take months of procurement from abroad for this material now delivered locally in weeks. Battlefield ready, reliable, and proud Indian. To conclude, I just want to share a few lines. Like the government has created the policy framework, the labs are innovating like DMRL and other labs, industry is investing. What are now we need is to close the loop with speed, standardization, and long-term assurance of demand. At Jindal Defence and Aerospace, we are proud to be part of this mission and believe the next decade can truly India's decade of material self-reliance. Let's not just make in India, let's forge India's future in steel. Thank you.